could be my ticket to Yale.
Another Bush kid. Another Bush kid. How about this girl?
Her grades and test scores are superb. She's got Bula. But does she have Bula?
What about this mobile she did in the 2nd grade?
Accept. Full ride. Bula, 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 bula.
Not so fast, Lisa. You didn't apologize to your 2nd grade teacher. And all we do at Yale is apologize.
Sorry, 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 please excuse our quirks. Quirks, quirks, quirks. Won't you kindly listen to us rich male jerks?
It's March 22nd, 1947. President Truman signed an executive order that required loyalty tests for employees in the executive branch of the government. The move was intended to preserve national security in the opening days of the Cold War. If a test indicated reasonable doubts of an employee's loyalty, he or she was dismissed. Between 1947 and 1956, over 5 million federal workers were screened. Almost 3,000 were dismissed, and another 12,000 resigned.
Starting with the star-studded event at the White House 2 days in a row.
Yeah, 23 artists and acts were honored as President Biden passed out National Medals of Arts and National Humanities Medals to such legends as Bruce Springsteen, Gladys Knight, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Here were some of the lighter moments.
My friend, President Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I know where you are. She's over here going, I'm over here. I'm going to talk with Julie later whether she liked being VP or president better. I got to figure that one out. Following her example, including Mindy Kaling, from Massachusetts, but as we all know, Scranton, Pennsylvania made her who she is. Or as we say in Scranton, Pennsylvania. The boss is here. The boss is here. As they say in South Philly and North Wilmington, a Jersey boy. Bruce, some people are just born to run, man.
Congratulations. Thank you, Steve.
I, Stephen Mnuchin, do solemnly swear.
I, Stephen Mnuchin, do solemnly swear.
Now Mnuchin will head the Treasury Department with his signature on every American bill.
Have you been working on your signature for the
I have indeed. I have indeed. I've been practicing it, so it'll be nice and neat on the money.
Mnuchin's career has also been dotted with controversy. He profited from the housing meltdown. His father worked at Goldman Sachs, and Steve followed him to the firm. Mnuchin donated to both parties over the years, including Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign in 2008.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go wild.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, a secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
And we'll be watching. Be safe on the campaign trail. John Kerry, thanks for joining us.
Today, I'm announcing that the Liberal Party has reached an agreement with the New Democratic Party to deliver results for Canadians now. This supply and confidence agreement starts today and will be in place until the end of this Parliament in 2025. What this means is that during this uncertain time, the government can function with predictability and stability, present and implement budgets, and get things done for Canadians. This agreement is not about compromising the core beliefs of either of our parties or denying the differences between us. What it is about is making sure that those differences don't stand in the way of delivering for Canadians. We both believe firmly in Parliament's role of keeping the government accountable. This agreement maintains that critical function. We'll continue to engage in healthy debate with each other and disagree on things, just like we'll also continue working with other parties in the House of Commons to reach consensus and make progress together.
A friend of mine from Australia, a jury maker, made it, and it kind of reminded me of the Terminator skull. And then so I wear it sometimes, and then he made another one that actually was the real Terminator skull. So I kind of switched them around all the time. But my first skull ring was actually bought by my daughter.
Okay.
She bought me that as a gift, and so then I started getting into skulls.
Terminator fans, rejoice. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a man of his word. Tonight, the former governor is returning to the big screen with a mind-bending new movie and some new friends. Here's ABC's Nick Watt.
I'll be back.
When you coin the most quoted catchphrase in movie history, you absolutely bring it back for the 5th movie.
I'll be back, and I'll be back.
Listen, I have kind of a pressing appointment, but I thought you might run into a roadblock, so I asked someone to drop by. Oh,
Mike?
Sir?
Randall? Donald?
Mr. Trump here wrote The Art of the Deal. Then he wrote a new bestseller, The Art of the Comeback.
2 books.
Wow.
For hardworking Americans, November 5th will be our new Liberation Day, but for the liars and cheaters and fraudsters and censors and imposters who have commandeered our government, it will be their Judgment Day. Their Judgment Day. Your victory will be our ultimate vindication. Your liberty will be our ultimate reward, and the unprecedented success of the United States of America will be my ultimate and absolute revenge. That's what I want. Success will be our revenge.
I'll be back.
I didn't want to ask you to say the line, because I'm sure you've been asked about 1,000 times, but you've just said it now about 38 times.
Because of that, he didn't want to ask that. It's unbelievable. What an interviewer.
31 years after the first Terminator, Arnie is back.
I've been waiting for you.
Second one was the best, Arnold? Do we agree on that?
I really can't say that. I mean, I think that the 3 that I was in, they all 3 had their own little personalities and kind of interesting storylines.
You didn't do the 4th?
Thank God.
Why was it bad?
It sucked.
Arnie was on an acting hiatus at the time, playing the governor of California for real life.
A vote for Trump is your ticket back to freedom. It's your passport out of tyranny. And it's your only escape from Joe Biden and his gang's fast track to hell. We are not merely transferring power from one administration to another or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
And we give it back to you, the people.
All are worthy. You can say that again.
And that is Bruce Wayne's grandfather, Mrs. Cooper?
His great-grandfather.
I understand he was tapped for Skull and Bones.
Tapped for it? Sir, he founded Skull and Bones.
So sweet. Very realistic.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Excellent directing.
Thank you, Mr.
Excellent.
President.
A wonderful actor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, sir.
Wonderful. You are a wonderful actor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
You know, you should see him do you.
Do me?
He does the greatest impersonation of you.
No, I really don't.
No,
No,
he's
not
being
very good.
honest.
No. Please, would you? I would really.
Let me be the judge, please.
For too long, a small group in our nation's capital
Are corrupt.
has reaped the rewards of government,
The rich.
while the people have borne the cost.
The oppressors of generations who have kept you down with myths of opportunity.
Could I borrow your cap, sir?
Well, get in there.
Certainly. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I want you to know, by the way, that I'm doing this with the greatest respect. I've got a great admiration for you. I've seen you a lot on television.
I'm gonna kill you slowly. I'm gonna break every bone in your body. People of Parador, I love you. I love you as a man loves a beautiful woman. You are a wonderful country.
I'll admit it.
No, Sarah.
No, Nancy. Yeah. No, this was marriages, and I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. But I couldn't get there, and she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like him a lot. You know, you're really beautiful. And a woman that looks like that has to have her own special scent.
Oh, thank you. Maybe you could tell me what you think of this scent.
I like that.
This may be the best of all. Oh, you dirty boy, you. Oh. Donald, I thought you were a gentleman.
You can't say I didn't try. The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country.
And do you accept the resignation of all of these liars? Of all the corrupt?
And in many ways, we're living in hell right now. I stand before you today not only as your past and hopefully future president, but as a proud political dissident. I am a dissident. Remember this, I've been indicted more than Alphonse Capone, Mr. President. Do you know who that is? Even the president just said, I do. Scarface, Al Capone.
I love your mountains and your valleys. I want to swim in your rivers. He's very funny. He's very funny. He's a hell of an actor. You're good, kid.
All right, Jack.
Thank you.
Bravo.
I'm going to vote blue.
Vote for who you want. This is a free dictatorship.
That all changes starting right here and right now, because this moment is your moment. It belongs to you.
None shall interfere. Do as you please.
January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again. The United States of America.
It will endure.
Many ages have elapsed since the Egyptian priest-king passed through the pillars of Thebes, ages before what they call the sinking of Atlantis, thousands of years before the Christian era. Egypt was a land, they say, of great truths. It was certainly the land of the mysteries. The hand of the great white brotherhood was held out to the empire of the Nile, and the passages of the ancient pyramid resounded with the chants of the initiates. Yes, for they were never built as tombs, but temples of initiation. And it was then that the Pharaoh, now called half human and half divine, reigned in ancient Egypt. Try to picture for a moment the great hall of Luxor, or, if you will, the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. The great hall of Luxor, its inscripted columns holding up domes of solid granite, each column carved with the histories of the gods. There, at the upper end of the chamber, sat the Pharaoh of the Nile in his robes of state, around him his counselors, chief among them the priest of the temple. An imposing spectacle it was, the gigantic frame of the later Atlantean, robed in gold and priceless jewels, on his head the crown of the north and south, the double empire of the ancients, on his forehead the coiled serpent of the initiate.
It's you!
Yes, man cub. So nice to see you again.
Oh, go away. Leave me alone.
Let me look at you. You don't want me to look at you? Then you look at me.
No, sir. I know what you're trying to do, cop.
You do? You don't trust me.
No.
Then there's nothing I can do to help.
You want to help me?
Certainly.
The serpent which was raised in the wilderness, that all who looked upon it might live. This Urias represented the sleeping serpent power in man, which coiled head downward around the tree of life, drove him from the garden of the Lord, but which raised upon the cross became the symbol of the Christ in the mysteries.
Okay. So let's dedicate this to General Kelly, the Border Patrol, and the ICE agents for doing such an incredible job. All right? This was written by Al Wilson a long time ago. And I thought of it having to do with our borders and people coming in. And we know what we're going to have. We're going to have problems. We have to very, very carefully vet. We have to be smart. We have to be vigilant.
They both belong to a group called Skull and Bones.
The Yale University Secret Society Skull and Bones, better known to you as President George Bush. Now, for the first time in the history of that Yale club, 2 of its former members will go head-to-head for the presidency.
You may think that George W. Bush and John Kerry have little in common, but both men count themselves as members of Skull and Bones, Yale University's oldest and some say most elite secret society.
Skull and Bones dates to 1832. It was, in fact, a reaction to a secret society. The Masons, founder William Huntington Russell, thought of his little conclave as sort of anti-Masons, and as a home for the wealthy and the powerful and the people who would do anything for another Bones member. Each year, 15 Yale undergraduate seniors are tapped for membership, initiated in controversial, murky fashion dramatized here in the movie The Skull.
Skull above any other. Say, skull above any other.
Fashion satirized here in The Simpsons.
Who gets Atlantis off the maps? Who keeps the Martians on their racks? We do.
Members of Skull and Bones, that is, not of the Stonecutters, gather on High Street in the Yale campus at The Tomb. New members, the neophytes, are expected to do things like lie in coffins and wrestle in mud and kiss a skull and confess their sexual histories in front of the group to bond themselves together further still, and presumably just for a few laughs.
The Pharaoh was an initiate of Scorpio. Scorpio. Another word for Scorpio in the mysteries is Lucifer, and the serpent is the transmuted Scorpio energy, which, working upward in the regenerated individual, is called the Kundalini. The Kundalini. The serpent was the sign of initiation. It meant that within him the serpent had been raised. For the true Pharaoh was a priest of God. Which God you will discover as we go.
Once you're in, you're in. Skull and Bones is for life. Talking about Skull and Bones is for others. And there are a lot of Bonesmen who did not talk, but did succeed. Henry Luce, who created Time Magazine and all its cousins. Harold Stanley, founder of Morgantown. Henry Louis Stimson, the Secretary of War under FDR and Truman. William F. Buckley. Averell Harriman, longtime governor of New York. And then there are the presidents, William Howard Taft, whose father Alfonso had helped found the group, and whose son Robert was a senator, George Herbert Walker Bush, whose father Prescott was a bonesman and a senator, the current President Bush, although his kid at Yale has not been tapped for skull and bones, even though they do admit women now. His child is not skull and bones, his opponent is. John Kerry, bonesman, class of 66. And if this needs to be weirder for you, try this. His wife, Teresa's first husband, the late senator from Pennsylvania, John Heinz, his father was skull and bones.
We sing for free.
Goodbye, college fund.
We can't be stopped.
Well, I am here to offer you money. I'd like to endow a Department of Nuclear Plant Management.
Wonderful. Of course, we can't do nuclear.
Our students are highly entitled wusses.
You'd be creating a space for violence to happen.
Release me, you hound.
Oh, yeah.
What's happened to this place?
Yeah.
This was the home of ruthless media disruptor Samuel F.B. Morse. Who's his successor? That fellow?
Fellow, that word is cisgender normative, okay? You're worse than Hitler!
Too late for flattery. I'm not giving this school a dime.
So here it is, the snake. It's called the snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Poor thing," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you." The border. "Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the vicious snake.
So we have an all-secret society presidential election. Not that either of them are talking about it.
The initiation rituals of a secret society that's been around since 1832, whose members have gone on to be leaders of Wall Street and the White House, the Senate and the Supreme Court.
They're sort of trying to scare the initiates, make them, disorient them, frighten them.
New York Observer investigative reporter Ron Rosenbaum accompanied a team of Yale students who shot these pictures 9 days ago. Rosenbaum's curiosity about skull and bones was permanently piqued when, as a classmate of George W. Bush, he lived right next to the tomb.
Where am I? Grandpa? What are you doing here?
Chris, welcome to the Skull and Bones Society. This is where the most powerful men in the world are groomed for their futures. Every president, every CEO, every douchebag named Ryan Seacrest. The Skull and Bones Society has been a part of my family for decades, and we want you to become a member.
Really? Wow, cool!
Excellent! You get your own stock portfolio, a percentage of the 9/11 Victims Fund, and the best medical care on the planet. You'll be kept as healthy as a horse.
The group's heavily fortified home. From their perch, Rosenbaum and his cohorts taped the tomb's courtyard. What they captured, they say, was initiates, known as neophytes, being forced to kiss a skull, then members performing a mock killing. It may look like your average fraternity nonsense, but Rosenbaum says it's not.
Even though it may seem silly to us, it seems to mean something to them, and you can't argue with the success of Skull and Bones.
She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. "Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried. "But if I hadn't brought you in by now, oh heavens, you would have died."
Does it still exist? The thing is so secret, I'm not even sure it still exists.
Back in 1996, using a night vision camera, we shot some of the only existing footage of a Skull and Bones initiation ceremony held at this foreboding building called the Tomb. One legend has it that during these initiation ceremonies, pledges must climb naked into a coffin.
Did you have to climb naked into a coffin for your initiation back in 1968?
Last time I was naked was sprinting down the street somewhere. No.
Bush and Kerry are just two of a virtual who's who of the nation's rich and powerful who have been so-called bonesmen. Yet Skull and Bones remain shrouded in secrecy.
You'd see dozens of skulls, skeletons, art celebrating death, war memorabilia, and several allegedly stolen items that bonesmen supposedly were supposed to take as gifts to the society's goddess.
Former bonesman.
Living or dead?
Living, but you'd better hurry. Engage cloaking device. Nothing relaxes me like a stiff drink from the skull of Martin Van Buren.
Care for some Pancho Villa?
Has everything in this school surrendered to diversity?
She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying, "Thank you," that snake gave her a vicious bite.
Still, Rosenbaum says the tape is a valuable artifact, an extremely rare view into the secret society that groomed the American ruling class for generations.
The devil is in the details when we run the numbers.
That's what your message is to the righteous people who are wondering.
You're free, and freedom is beautiful. And, it'll take time to restore chaos and order, but order out of chaos, but we will. Yeah, John.
Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman. Sighed the vicious sake. "I have saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bitten me, heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Oh, shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in."
Make order out of places where there is chaos. That is our role.
Are there really great secrets that you know that you can't share with people?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are. And you never write about them.
No.
Maybe at a time in your life that
No.
you're like, oh, I'm 90, I'm going to do it.
No.
No, nothing.
I am basically there to make money. I cannot and do not look at the social consequences of what I do.
Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump, we're all cut from the same cloth.
How wonderful to see your smiling faces again. All of you. I have never known such warmth, such welcome, such loving hospitality. Get out, you quack!
And don't bring those phony remedies here again.
Go on back where you belong. Jail.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I sense enthusiasm. I sense loving response. And that's why I feel that this is my home, away from home. I've been bringing cures from Pilgrim Heights to Provincetown, treated rabbit fever down on Queen Anne Road, gout or gastritis, mumps or bronchitis, bites and burns and blue abrasions, got a pill for all occasions, little sip of Wisset was so nice to visit, and scraggy neck is lovely to recall. I took your drug for losing weight, and now I'm a blob. But now that there's so much more of you to love, I wiped out impetigo on the banks of buttermilk. Flu is under firm control in Powder Hole. Terminus potions, tablets and lotions. Major news in modern science. Step up now and join my clients. Spent a day in Buzzards Bay. They couldn't keep me there. Even turned away from Kingdom Hall.
They probably threw you out.
They probably threw. My hair was gray, and thanks to you, it turned into pink. But that color, it's so becoming.
I could start my own college.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We can't talk business in here. Just general schemes for world domination. Fraternal handshake.
Oh, all right.
You are on my radar.
What you doing, Mr. B? I never want to see the word Yale again. We're changing all our locks to Schlage. To be honest, I'm thinking of starting my own college. A for-profit college? Excellent. Kudos. And now for your first economics lesson. So long, suckers! Boola boola. Moola moola.
We're gonna watch your phony tonics right now to sing. Wait, listen. My specialties are audiology, mycology, serology, teratology, embryology, psychology, zoology, and any other ology you can think of. My friends, you're not giving me a chance. I brought all these medicines back from Paris, France. Honi soit qui mal y pense, shamed be he who thinks evil of it. And that's what the medical business is all about, folks. People helping people. You should all have help. Gadzooks! What have we here?
Oh, doctor. All I'm asking for is a miracle.
All he wants is a miracle, folks.
I am the only one. Trust me. I can build a wall around your homes that nothing will penetrate.
You're a liar, Trump.
I alone can fix it.
Your name is Trump? All right, Sheriff. How long are you going to put up with this? What do you mean? How long are you going to let this con man walk around town? Be careful, son. I can sue you.
We will build a great wall along the southern border.
The people were ready to believe. Like sheep, they ran toward the slaughterhouse. And waiting for them was the high priest of fraud.
Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall.
How can I deny him? If he's willing to pay for it, he's gonna get it.
Any price.
$1, sir. You'll see many more. People will come pouring in from land and sea. We'll have centers for testing. Let's start investing. Keep those dimes and dollars mounting. I'll collect. I'll do the counting. Everyone who lives here will be strong and healthy. You'll be getting richer by the day. Hear them acclaim us. This town will be famous. The whole wide world will look at us and say, pardon quasi, no pacum sodi, no passum massi, quadum potty, passum daddy, quadum passy, quadum maddy, dapper daddy, dapper mossy, quadum posse, passa quasta, aha! Quaddy! I know.
Does that explain it, folks? Does that explain it?
Trust in me.